absolutely horrific. There was another mass shooting. Guy opened fire at a church in Texas, killed 26 people, children included, and injured 20, wounded 20 more. The First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. It's a small town about 35 miles east of San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, yeah.
It was right around 11:30 in the morning, so it was during a church service. The shooter is a 26-year-old guy, a former member of the Air Force, although he was dishonorably discharged from the Air Force. This 26-year-old guy shows up during the service, parked outside, got out of his car wearing tactical gear and a bulletproof vest.
Oh.
So apparently he walked in, Devin Kelly is his name, Devin Kelly, 26-year-old, shot the front of the church. And then as he's approaching the front door, walked through the front door. People are sitting in the congregation, and you walk in and everyone's backs are to you.
Right, yeah, you're watching the people at the pulpit.
So they don't necessarily see it coming. I'm assuming they hear it, if he's shooting the front of the church. So he walks in and starts shooting the congregation as he's walking up the aisle, and then turns around, walks back down the aisle, still shooting. Again, 26 dead, 20 more were wounded, children included. At some point, a local resident had a rifle and started shooting him. Now, I don't think that it was somebody in the church who had a rifle. I don't know why.
Maybe somebody like a neighbor or
somebody
heard
who heard the gunshots. Yeah. So a local resident with a rifle started shooting him. He took off. The shooter took off, got in his car, started driving away. The local with the gun asked a guy who was driving a truck nearby, flagged him down and asked him for help. The guy in the truck started taking after the shooter. They were going 95 miles per hour on this little country road in Texas. The cops were heading to the scene. Lots of people called 911. Cops headed to the scene. Eventually, the shooter lost control of his car, crashed. And when the person who was chasing them, they were going 95 miles an hour, the person who was chasing him, the shooter got out of the car, fell to the ground with a gunshot wound. So right now, we're not sure if the shooter took his own life or if the person
that was chasing him,
actually hit him with one of the bullets.
So is he dead?
So he's dead. Yeah.
Do they have a motive?
Yeah.
None that I know of. I mean, things that I've been reading or things I've been hearing is that apparently this 26-year-old guy, Devin Kelly, he used to teach Bible study, or he was a Bible studies teacher. And I knew that he was dishonorably discharged from the Air Force, and that apparently a lot of people, friends and family are coming forward now saying, I knew who he was. And on Facebook, a lot of people said that they had to unfollow him on Facebook because he had just become erratic, posting things about if you believe in God, you're stupid. He had become an atheist.
Oh, wow.
And so just went erratic on Facebook. And lots of people saying he was creepy in high school. He was scary. It was a loner.
It is sad, still with the Las Vegas shooting, it's still like very confusing because he doesn't fit anything. But, people are like, well, I had no clue he'd be this way or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then but what can you do? I mean, as a citizen, you can't say, well, he's creepy, so have the police arrest him. You can't be arrested for that, or he posts crazy things on Facebook. That's the sad thing. So people say, well, they should have done more. But what could you do?
Well, and that's one of the things people are saying. The majority of the comments are, I knew this guy and never would have thought that he could do something. He was just an outcast. Gave me weird feelings, but never would have thought that he would do something like this.
Who would you ever think would do something
exactly?
And then, part of it is, do you think things are changing now, meaning, or we just hear about it more? Because I just don't remember these shootings, these mass shootings 20 years ago.
I think it's changing.
Yeah, I think the first one I remember, Columbine,
yeah.
And that was in the mid-'90s or late 90s.
But
it seems like it's more. It seems like it happens more. I don't know. It's because we have 24-hour news.
Yeah, but what's triggering it? What are triggering these people to just randomly shoot a bunch of people? I mean,
I don't know.
Insane.
All right, let's go to Katie. You have a theory of why this stuff keeps happening?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with parenting today and how it's changed. I mean, now every child gets a participation trophy instead of learning how to maybe not win with grace, and so all of a sudden you become an adult and you don't know how to deal with bad situations.
Wow.
I could see that theory.
See how it plays a part.
Where you're not used to losing, where everything is not fair if you don't get your way. And I think that could lend to, not that it...
But enough to create that?
No, I think create maybe more people that are emotionally unstable. not to that level. Obviously, he's an extreme, this guy who did the shooting. But I know people that are young. I mean, like my brother, Izzy, he's a couple years younger than me, but it's just a couple years difference. And it was the participation trophies and all that stuff. And a lot of his friends, like if I could, not his friends, but people I know that went to his school, they have a hard time when things don't go their way. I mean, a really tough time. And it's like, what?
It has changed for sure.
Thank you, Katie. Let's go to Brian in Burlington. What are your thoughts?
Hey, how are y'all doing this morning? Love y'all's show, by the way.
Thank
you.
So I wanted to bring a couple things real quick, very briefly. The common misconception for AR is that it means assault rifle. It actually means Armalite, which was the first manufacturer of the platform.
Oh.
Just a little history. And then, too, I think a lot of it, yes, we didn't have social media. We didn't have 24-hour news stations like we do now. So now, with as crazy as the world has gotten, people see this and they're like, hey, I'm going to get attention. If I go do something like this, I'm going to be, famous for a while. So the news, the media pushes it. So anybody that's, depressed or feels oppressed, they now know, well, if I go kill a bunch of people, they're going to talk about me for months, whether I live or die. So I'll have my 15 minutes of fame or I'll feel, fine.
I definitely see that. I do. That's the challenge part that I was talking about is that they want to be, I think, deep down inside, the ones that are talked about in the news as creating the worst mass killing in Texas.
And then people like that.
I know.
Mean, that's all it takes, then, I mean, if it wasn't that, it'd be something else.
But I don't think they're actually thinking to themselves, I'm going to be famous if I do that. It's just subconscious. They know it's going to feel good that I'm going to create all this chaos, and because before, if you did the chaos, it wasn't really publicized as much.
It was maybe in your town paper, and then that was it.
Yeah, or you had to watch, like, if you had to be watching the 30-minute late night news, that's all they had.
Right.
If you missed it, it wasn't immediately all over Twitter or Facebook.
And the unfortunate part too, and I think it's terrible to even say this, but we are getting better, I think, at recognizing the victims. It's horrible that there are victims.
Right.
But we all often talk about the shooter or the person who ran people over or the killer more than we do the victims.
And I think the reason my feeling is, unless it's like one or two victims, when you start having massive numbers, it's hard to like, whoa, what's going on? Which I'm not saying that's right.
Right. That should be the part that we're focused
on. But I
on.
also think we either have a morbid curiosity, or in order to maybe prevent it in the future, we want to know why this person shot up the church, why this person ran people over in Manhattan, why this person shot up a concert in Vegas, so that we can see maybe warning signs in other people. But it seems like you can't predict it at all anymore.
Right.
If we had the answer,
I certainly don't think we're going to solve it.
Magic wand and fix it. We would definitely do that.
But we're talking about it, and I think that helps.
And just try to keep your family as safe as possible. See something, say something, type of thing, and protect yourself the best you know how. I mean, it's just kind of a very scary time to be living in.